Hello and welcome back. So, recently I've been thinking about how Honkai Star Rail could make improvements on older units, while simply giving them a chance to increase their talent level, or level cap could help them out a bit. After we got Fugue, I think what HSR plans to do with buffing of older units is instead just simply making a new one, so let's talk about it. If you go on to enjoy this video, a like and sub are greatly appreciated. Only a small portion of you are subbed, and it really helps me out a lot. And if you want a cool place to come and talk about Honkai Star Rail, might I recommend joining the Express Train Discord server at the link down in the description. All that being said, let's just get into it. While power creep is inevitable in a game like this, many of the older characters do have good ideas on paper, but lack the ability to keep market share for a variety of reasons. And if they are still able to hold the candle to the new characters, they lack the quality of life that new characters have pretty much by default now. The best example of a character I wanted to discuss today is actually a very popular one, that being Kafka. Now, Kafka is a character who many have clamored to receive a DoT dedicated support for. However, I don't think the support is the reason why DoT is weak right now. Let's take a look at what the current DoT team is to see what it looks like. First off, we obviously have Kafka as an enabler. We have Black Swan as the sub DPS / support, who is a perfect DoT character. She has defense down, her own unique DoT called Arcana, and if you have her E1, DoT Res Pen. She is a amazing character for DoT. Next up we have the Sustain, which is usually Huohuo. Huohuo provides healing, energy, and attack buffs for the whole team, so obviously she's a no-brainer. And as for the support, it's usually Ranmei and Robin. Now Ranmei is pretty much a perfect DoT support, as much as people want to clamor she was made for break. And then another option is Robin, because Robin is broken on every single team in the game besides break teams, so she's obviously a no-brainer to use in the slot as well. So if you look at the team, the weakest link of the team is Kafka. Kafka is a unique character. She's the only unit in the game that can do what she does, but there is a little bit of an issue. Kafka's scaling is absolute dog water. 75% of the original dot proc is on her skill, and 100% is on her ult. If she came out today, she would have like 120 and 200%, something ridiculous like that. But since she came out at 1.2, she suffered significantly. Which is why, in order for DoT to really see a resurgence, they have to either A, make a support that is so specific to DoT and is somehow better than Ranmei and Robin, or B, make a new character that can re-trigger dots better than Kafka can. And given that she's a character from 1.2, the bar is not very high. I know the day that Kafka inevitably gets replaced on the DoT team is going to be nuclear warfare for the Honkai Star Rail community, because Kafka is an extremely popular character. But she isn't the only character who suffers from this. Most of the 1.x DPSs suffer from issues in their kit, on top of lower multipliers compared to what we have today. Let's look at a few examples. Zeela is a character that needs to kill an enemy to proc Resurgence, and while she does get a good amount of turns just by the nature of her kit, she does not do the most damage. And the more HP things get, the much harder it is for her to kill. Compare this to a character like Boothill, who has incentives to kill mobs to stack his pocket trick shot, but can also break them to stack them in order for him to do a massive amount of damage. And he's also a break character and came out much later than her, so he's going to fare much better than Zeela, obviously. Next up is Jingyuan. While he is now a pretty solid DPS with the release of Sunday, he still does have issues such as Lightning Lord not immediately proccing when he hits 10 stacks, and crowd controlling completely ruining his ability to use his Lightning Lord, whereas later characters like Topaz and Linkshot do not have this issue, and can act whether the Pokemon trainer is crowd controlled or not. Dill is still a pretty solid DPS, but uses 10 billion skill points, which can sometimes be a bit of an issue. Jing Liu is also still a pretty solid DPS as well, but has pretty awkward uptime on her enhanced state and buffs herself by a lot, making it harder, but not impossible, to make her better. Compare this to a character like Fei Xiao. Jing Liu has very good self buffs and not the best multipliers. Fei Xiao has pretty solid self buffs and insane multipliers, so Jing Liu is obviously going to suffer, but if she came out much later, she would be significantly better. There are also the issues that older characters simply don't have the quality of life features that newer characters do. For example, characters like Himiko and Blade have follow-ups that cannot overcap, while characters like Jane Aventurine follow-ups can overcap. Some characters now don't even use energy. Some give buffs in Simulated Universe, some just erase trash mobs from existence. Older characters are not able to do the things that 2.x characters do, and I'm sure in 3.x, the 2.x characters will feel the exact same way. Not to mention, there are now characters that can implant their own weakness or simply ignore the toughness bar altogether, which is something older characters cannot do, meaning this can make older characters borderline impossible to use in modes such as Apocalypse Shadow if the boss is not weak to this specific weakness. So how do we fix this? Well, I think we have a pretty good idea now of what Hoyoverse is trying to do with this going forward. We have seen them make brand new versions of characters multiple times now, and the most recent one being the current banner we have now, of Fugue. a brand new version of Ting Yun, even though Ting Yun is already pretty solid, and we have gotten other versions of characters before, that being Don Hung to DHIL, which drastically improved its usage, and we're going to see this even more 3.0 with the release of the Herda. Can't get over how stupid her name is. I do think this is something that they could do from time to time, but I do think this could cause some issues. First off, it would appear pretty lazy to keep recycling old characters. Just changing their designs a bit and slapping them on a $300 price tag would come off as a cash grab. I think it would also set a strange precedent that people would eventually grow to expect updated versions for old units to patch the holes their old ones have, similar to the whole dedicated support craze we have going on right now, where characters are considered suboptimal because they don't have a fart team of their own. However, I think this could be a really good thing for the game. I was talking to some other content creators a few days ago, and I mentioned a point saying how I get significantly more enjoyment out of a game when I'm playing the character that I love. For example, I didn't like Zenless Zone Zero too much until I got Ju-On, and I still love playing her even to this day. Making new versions of characters would allow people to continue to do that. If your favorite character gets a new form, it's still that character, and since they'd be released later, you know that they would be stronger. I definitely see this happening to certain characters such as the Celeron Hunters. It's a bit ridiculous that, as popular as they are, only one of them is really considered good. Since Hoyo seems to not give buffs to characters outside of very special cases, I think a brand new version of the character could be really cool to see for many more characters to come. Before this video ends, I wanted to say thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers. I have only been doing content on this channel for about 3 months now, and we're already here at 1,000. I honestly thought I'd never get past 300, but it seems like a lot of people are really enjoying the content, and that makes me very happy. Whether you subbed since I made videos with shitty mic quality, or you subbed from my most recent video that ended up going semi-viral, I really do appreciate all of you. I definitely strive to make better and better videos, and in the next year I hope to achieve more and keep growing the channel, and hopefully stream more, do some longer videos, do some higher quality videos, and maybe do some other collabs with content creators. It has been a very fun experience already interacting with so many people, and I hope to continue doing it. So with that being said, thank you so much for all the support. It really does mean the world to me. So that's gonna do it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, let me know with a like and maybe a sub. If you want a place to chill and talk about Honkai Star Rail, consider joining the Express Train Discord server. The link is down in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.